Hello everyone, this is Type, and this is the second week of the DGBA, and I'm a little bit quiet again, but that's because I'm not home. I'm at a summer cottage, or it's not really a cottage, but I was like kind of like I'm not sure. I wasn't sure if I'm even gonna have a chance to do anything here, but like recording wise, but I'm in my backyard right now with my laptop and. You may hear the sounds of the birds or boats, I don't know, but yeah, I'm recording outside, which is interesting, something I've never done before. I'm facing JJ Gals. I don't know which name he exactly refers with. I think he has a team name too. Oh yeah, I think it was DC Umbreons. So shout out to a soccer-based team name. At least I'm a huge soccer fan. Been watching the World Cup a lot too. My team is also based on soccer. It's Helsinki High Jump Kicks, and let me actually show you the matchup of the week. So as you can see, he has some crazy threats, but there's like stuff like Naganadel and Magiana, but they both have certain nerfs um, or disabilities. Naganadel is not allowed to run Z or moves or nasty plots. It's still a huge threat with options like Specs or Scarf or maybe Sub. You know, Life Orb is annoying. It can run both speed and attack or special attack. I mean, boosting natures. So definitely a big threat. I'm in the mock. I was again mocking against Troy. Huge shout out to him. He brought Scarf. I could also see Yachi Berry, which can help against the Weavile. Not sure how I'm feeling about other sets, but I'm like Naganadel is pretty much completely covered with my team. Tank Growth Slow Pro is his regenerator core, which I don't necessarily expect both of them because I have pretty solid checks for the core. But I could definitely see one of them coming, especially with like Rocky Helmet to help check my Mega Kangaskhan. Maybe Mian Shao, which I could see being a solid threat as well. Rotom, I'm not expecting that much because I have two mons that kinda check it very well, being Zygarde and Seismitoad. It can't deal with both, even with hidden power. Axel Gore is always an annoying one with the hazards, with options like the Funnel Gambit. It can be offensive. I think it's a Z user as well. Uh, The Z users aren't actually updated. I believe he has actually Alan Persian as a Z user over Rotom Heat. Alan Doctrio I'm definitely very afraid of because I don't have the best ground checks. And like he can run something like Stone Edge or Rock Slide for my Moltres. I could see something like AZ Sandstorm coming, which does get that life or boost with the Sand Force. So that can be a very threatening, very strong mon. But I have some basically the mons I chose were in order to take that mon best. Mega Medicham hits very hard. It outspeeds a lot of my mons, so it's annoying in that sense. Um, I have the I do have the Deoxys defense, but it's not allowed to use recover. So if it gets that build down, Mega Medicham can be a huge threat. Also gets a bullet punch for my Weavile. Uh, Magiarna is not allowed to use Z moves or shift gear, so it does make it a little bit easier to check. It can run like command or trick room. I'm not sure if it's gonna be command or trick room. It could be AV2, but I'm definitely expecting Shuka Berry to check the Zygarde. Gliscor is very annoying if I don't prepare properly. It can basically just win games on its own. Alan Persian is very annoying with the parting shot, and Piloswine I'm not that worried about, just that it has that priority against my Zygarde. But as you can see, I'm bringing the Coil Zygarde set. I was thinking of Dragon Dance with like Dragonium Z, but it doesn't really set up that well against anything. So I thought this set is a lot better because it sets up on a lot of things, and as you can see, I have Thunder Wave on my like you will see, I have Thunder Wave on my Klefki, so I can take advantage of paralyzed mons with this set. I can set up on a lot of things. I won't allow Gliscor to beat me 1v1 unless it's SD, which doesn't matter because I have other mons to check that type of set. With sub, I don't mind about Persian as much, and I can just weaken stuff like Piloswine, tank growth, and of course, like well, tank growth I guess is the best check for my set, but that does invite in my Moltres. You'll see the set later. I have just max HP. I mean max special defense to take on I guess Naganadel, Rotom Mage, Magiarna, as well as possible. But let's move on to the next mon, which is my Glefki, which this set is a little bit I guess weird because it's looking kind of passive, but it's really just there to check Naganadel and Magiarna, the two biggest threats of my opponent. So what this does, I can switch into Naganadel, and whatever it does, I have a way out. If it goes hard for a fire type of predicting this, I can live with Okaberry, I can proceed to Thunder Wave. If it goes for sub, I can Light Screen and proceed to break the sub with HP Ground. If he brings in Magiarna, or I can use this to check Magiarna by either Light Screening or Thunder Waving or Hidden Power Grounding. I have Hidden Power Ground just because I want to pop the Sugar Berry of the Magiarna. And I have max special defense just to take on those two mons as well as possible. I have Defog because I want to use it to support the Moltres and also just to help deal with the hazards that the Axelgar may potentially bring. Next up I got my Deoxys, which is more of a physically bulky mon, but it has some special attack and speed. Speed is there just to like counter speed creep for mons that are outspeeding bulky Kangaskhan, which I don't think is necessarily a very likely set against him, but I'm just having that speed no matter what. That's the same speed tier I have on Zygarde. Psycho Boost is my main move to hit Medicham. I might change that to Seismic Toss, however, because that would hit Magiarna as well, and Persian. I think I want to keep Spikes and Taunts. The special attack is there to help me 1v1 a specially defensive Gliscor with the Ice Beam. And if it's specially defensive, it means I will also outspeed it with my speed investment. Taunt is nice to just prevent, especially Magiarna from setting up, also from Gliscor doing anything. It's mainly for those two. I guess I can taunt the Piloswine from setting up rocks if it's not oblivious. Next up I have Weavile, which is a pretty important mon because it checks a lot of things. It also lures in stuff like Magiarna, which again I can just knock off the Sugar Berry. I fake out in order to kind of scout certain movesets, especially from Naganadel and Mega Medicham. It's very nice because it cancels Medicham's fake out and it brings it down to the range of Ice Shard eventually, which is important because otherwise I am going to die to a Bullet Punch. Orca Berry so that I can take on any kind of or any type of Naganadels. Even if it's Scarf, yeah, I will leave a fire type move even after rocks and just I can just revenge kill with Icicle Crash. And I think Icicle Crash is my go-to move against Naganadel before I know it's set because it could be Archie. This one doesn't really like switch into I mean damage to Magiarna, but at least I have the fake out to chip it and I can use a knockoff on the switching, like I said. Next up I have my Seismitoad, which depending on the matchup can be very useless, but it does at least help me against most like Alan Drakjo, which I'm definitely a little bit afraid of. Rotom H and I mean, I can Toxic Slowbro or even Tank Growth. If I don't feel like I need Seismitoad that much, I can Toxic the Tank Growth. Nice against plus one too. And I'm actually not gonna run knockoff. I'm gonna run Stealth Rock because I was having the mock, like I said, and against someone said it's just very passive. So at least being able to set up rocks, it will be always like a profitable move to go for. So I go for rocks over knockoff. I don't really need knockoff because I can just earthquake to pop the Shuka Berry of the Magiarna. Of course, if it's like a different item, then it would be nice to have the knock, but at the same time, Weavile always kind of lures it in. And last is my Moltres, which is a very offensive set this time. It has Chardy Berry so that it can better take on Alan Trio, maybe Tangrowth if it has Rock Slide. Kind of depending on what my opponent brings. But like yeah, it's mainly definitely for the Alan Trio, and I'm actually not gonna bring Pressure. I'm gonna bring Flame Body because this is mainly for the Medicham. I don't really have that good checks for it, so this gives me kind of a way to deal with it. Even though I would prefer it maybe being paralyzed, but um, it's like it's kind of situational, which is better. But I'm gonna go with Flame Body either way. Hurricane Burn Up both hit extremely hard against my opponent, and HPIs is there for Gliscor. Roost will help me to just um, like regain my damage, or like regain my health rather. And I have a little bit of the hit points here. I have just enough HP to kill the max HP Magiarna with Burn Up. And yeah, Burn Up is nice because it just hits super hard, and even though it's losing the fire tap is a little bit annoying against the Magiarna, but um, I mean I still have my Klefki in most cases, so I don't really mind that. But yeah, that's my team, so I'm gonna do a post recording of the match again later. So let's hop to the battle now. Alright, so here we are with the battle, and well, I'm going to apologize for the birds again. I'm outside again, and the team. I actually think I made some changes to my team. I think in the team builder I was lefties on my Seismitoad. I went with Rindo. Uh, but yeah, no Mega Medicham, which I'm fine with. Axelgor. It's a pretty annoying thing. It's like I feel like it's a very annoying mod because it's kind of hard to prep for, in a way. Persian was always gonna be such a huge nuisance. I don't have much answer the for the what you call it, the parting shot, and then of course all the threats, Naganadel, Magiarna, etc. Let me do something real quick. Thanks. Okay. Yeah. Oh well. Tank growth. I wasn't. It came to the mark, so I can't say I'm surprised to see it. It's always a good mod anyway. But anyway, let's start. So I don't even remember what I led off with, but I remember he led off with Axelgar, and I led off with Weavile. So I'm just gonna go for a fake out, I believe, to get some cheap damage, break a potential sash as my opponent goes hard into Persian, which I guess is his initial switching for this anyway. I make a switch into my Klefki as my opponent goes for Budding Shot, which is absolutely expected. And I make a double into Deoxys because I believe this is like a good chance to get a procs as a Gliscor does the same. I mean the spikes. I don't have rocks. The spikes, and I'm gonna go for ice beam because I want to damage the Gliscor as soon as possible because it's a very annoying threat. As my opponent goes hard into the Axelgar. And he goes for Toxic Spikes, which means that I definitely will want to defog them well later. And yeah, I think in the Team Bureau I was actually Psycho Boost over Seismic Toss, but I decided to go for Seismic Toss instead to make damage, or do damage to the Magiarna. That was my other change. I go into the Klefki on the Bug Buzz as I get a chance to defog away the hazards. And this is very bad because my Klefki set that I brought is very passive. It can't do anything against the Gliscor, so I have to switch out immediately. As the Gliscor does get a chance to get up the rocks again. As I'm gonna go for the Ice Beam, and it's good that I went for the Seismic Toss because now I do have the chance to hit that move. But I instead go into Klefki. I wanted to get a scout, and my opponent gets a crit, which is very annoying because it means that now as you can see, I have like basically one hit left, less left, and I'm going for Thunder Wave. Actually, I'm not exactly sure why. I don't really have switch-ins, that's why, and getting the paralysis is actually good later because I can just get my Zygarde and try to more easy to set up on it. I go into my Moltres, and turns out actually that the Magiarna is AV, which I wasn't really expecting because it's only good against Moltres, and I thought that maybe Zygarde would be like a bigger threat to him, but no, he was AV, and that was annoying. I lost my Moltres. I had no reason to like try to switch out against the Naganadel anymore because of the fact that I was going to die to the rocks, and because of the crit, my Klefki was also gone. But I can bring in the Weavile to scare out the Naganadel, as turns out that he either can't kill me or he's slower. As I go for the fake out just to get some damage off. Here I'm just gonna go for knockoff on the Persian, wanting to get off its item, but turns out he's just Z. But this works out as well because he goes for Icy when trying to catch my Zygarde, which is a pretty interesting move there. As I go hard into my Deoxys, as he catches me with a nice Dark Pulse. I don't know, maybe I should have just gone into the Seismic Torrents, but at the same time this is a good chance for me to get off some spikes, and at the same time I don't really need Deoxys because there is no Mega Medicham. And right now I'm looking forward to just I have a few things I want to do. I believe I want to weaken this thing, and I want to get the Tangrowth Toxic, and as you can see, he goes for a Black Hole Eclipse, which kind of messing with my goal number one, as I don't get more damage on him. However, I'm just gonna bring in my Seismitoad, and I think I'm gonna get a Prox. I'm sorry, I don't really remember this too well, but I think I get a Prox as in comes the Tangrowth, and this is good for me because. Yeah. No, I go actually for the Toxic straight away. Yeah, that was a good, this is a very, very good result for me because I'm still looking at the possibility of a Zygarde sweep. I can just get a Prox. I don't really want to switch out into anything because we was gonna take a lot from rocks anyway, and I gotta want to keep it in the back for Axelgar, and especially for I guess Naganadel and Gliscor. And also, if I get to weaken Magiarna and Persian, Weavile is still a potential win condition. I just go for double toxic in case he wants to switch out, but he goes for the Giga Drain, and I'm just gonna let my Assassin Toad go. I can go into Weavile and start trying to do some host to his team to maybe no, I go hard into this. Okay. I mean, yeah, this is of course always a chance to set up as well. Of course, the thing is that if I go for a dragon, I was going. I'm sorry. Yeah, if I go for coil and turn he goes into, let's say, Naganadel, I'm in a very bad position. So I have to go for sub here, and no, I actually go for coil, I believe. And yeah, I think this is a perfect situation for me. You know, I get a sub, I can start setting up. But turns out that I actually didn't really. Well, I'm gonna talk about this later. But this thing has encore, and if he didn't, I was in a perfect position in my opinion to counter sweep. But now there's not much I can do. It's not over yet. I can still set up on other things, but right now I'm just I have to take this bug buzzy as my place to wait until my encore wears off and go hard into Weavile to like let the like basically go into Weavile on his encore again, because of course if he doesn't go for encore, it's also a chalk on him for him, because I'm behind the sub and I can set up against literally anything. And yeah, I go for the protect first just to get a little bit more lefties back, and now I go into Weavile. And he goes for encore as I expected, and as he should have. I can go for Ice Shard. And no, this is still not looking like too bad, because well, this is like, okay, I go for Icicle Crash as, do I get the flinch? I do get the flinch, and I really needed that here. So actually, yeah, I was like, but yeah, then I missed the next one. But as you can see, it kinda like those two like canceled each other out, so it like kinda didn't matter. But yeah, I don't know. He gets a mag, and right, like it's paralyzed. I have Icicle Crash, so right here I just really need to get paralysis or flinch, and I'm in a very good position again. But I don't, unfortunately. And now it's my Zygarde versus the world. So I mean, it's not like if I get a sub on his, basically on his paralysis, I'm in a very good position. And I'm also gonna go for protects, just to gain more HP. Like I know that if he gets paralyzed in the protect, it doesn't matter, but as you'll see, he doesn't. And of course, like more low I get, the more harder it's gonna be to beat the tank growth anyway. But I can call against Gliscor, I believe, and if I'm behind the sub, Naganadel won't be able to kill me. But this is, in my opinion, a little bit unfortunate for me. I've never ever had a battle where Mon breaks through paralysis this many times. So I'm gonna lose this 4-0. Some people in the replay reacted with the wheelchair. This wasn't a wheelchair in my opinion, this was much closer of a game. Because maybe barring the Moltres play, this was actually very much in my control until that encore from the Axelgar. So I really lost to that thing, and maybe not getting the paralysis, because like I kinda, you know, with my Klefki, I definitely went for that Thunder Wave. And that lost like both my Moltres and my Klefki, and I didn't even get like paid for it, so that didn't pay off. So I was a little bit salty for that, but at the same time, like overall, I wasn't very salty for this game, because I essentially lost to that Axelgar set, and I'm not very experienced against Axelgar, so in the end, this was a loss where I believe I learned from. And when you, like those types of games, I was I think I built decently, and I was in the end outplayed in a very difficult matchup anyway. So not too mad at all. And like I said, or did I even say? I'm tripping. I'm sorry. I don't think this was as one-sided as it maybe looked, because I always had a win con in the back, and had things gone a little bit differently, I probably could have been able to pull it off. Of course, when I got very low, the chances of me 1v1ing that tank growth weren't very good. So in the end, a deserved loss, I guess, but a battle where I learned from nonetheless. Next week, definitely gonna come back to the way of the wins. Thanks for gals for the game. See you again next week. Please leave a like, sub, do your thing. This type. Until the next week. Signing out. Wait, that. I'm not doing this very well. Anyway, see you. Bye.